Daf Kuf Tet Vav. We've been having a machloket between Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda regarding the millstone. It's made up of two different parts. Is that considered two separate isurim regarding taking collateral? We take both of them, two malkut or one. So we're not going to say maybe it's the same machloket elsewhere. Lima Abaye v'Rava. Maybe the machloket between Abaye and Rava, but Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda, if we have the same machloket. Then Rava says, Achalna lo keshtayim. Someone eats the Korban Pesach. You cannot eat it partially raw, partially roasted. If you do eat it na means partially roasted. You get two sets of malkut. Mishum na, first of all, you get one set for eating it raw, semi-raw. Or mishum ki im sili esh, and also another isur tells you have to roast it. Mevushal lo keshtayim. If you ate the Pesach over when it was boiled instead of roasted, you're also over on two. Mishum mevushal, because first of all it says not to eat it boiled. Mishum ki im sili esh, and also now the isur told you to roast it. Na umvushal lo keshlosh. Therefore, if he roasts it and he boils it, then yani semi-raw and boiling, you get three. Mishum na, first of all, you get it semi-raw. When mishum mevushal, you boiled it. When mishum lo tochon kim slash, also you didn't fully roast it. Now, Abaya says, "En lokin alav sheb'dachalot." No, you can't keep on adding isurim on top of each other. They don't stack. All right, you can't just add one, two, three. So then Abaya to Mark Revuda. Let's say that Abaya holds like Revuda regarding the millstone as well. He says there's only one. And Rava the Mark Revuda, Rava holds like Ravuna that they keep on stacking. Malach Rava, so no, not necessarily from the same machlokes. Because why? Amalach Rava could tell you, Ana damre afilu Revuda that maybe he'll hold like Revuda. Because why? Ad kan nok mar Revuda hatam ella. Only time Revuda said that you're chayav regarding the millstones. Because when we said a stam isur, right, we said that an isur for the millstone, upper and lower, then another isur of don't take away his food preparation stuff. So he'll say that other isur of the other nefesh, the other food preparation items, are not connected to millstones hand in hand. Therefore, that pasuk is teaching you other stuff for asur, like we ended off yesterday's daf, top of the amud, that pasuk is teaching you that you can't take his knife, for example. Regarding the Korban Pesach, the reason why it stacks is ki imtzli esh lemayata. The only reason why I would tell you that you need to roast it is to teach you shma min alav, teach you that it's another isur that you're getting malkut for. Abaya Baya also will tell you the same thing, that he'll also agree with the other Tana, with the other Amora. I'll hold regarding Korban Pesach. Adkan lo kamara Ravuna. The only time Ravuna said over there that you're chayav on the millstone and not anything else, and that doesn't stack. Ella nefesh hu havel, because that is he's taking away food preparation, and that's why it stacks. Yeterahu, it's an extra word, and therefore kevin yeterahu shadeh rehaim berechev. And since it's an extra clause, it's teaching you another isur that if you take his millstone, you get another isur. Regarding the Korban Pesach, ki imsli esh lavi yeterahu. But that word, the pasuk of roasting it, is not extra. The mibaylik the Tanya, because it teaches you following the halacha. At the time when someone's chayav to eat a Korban Pesach, yani the night of Pesach, yeshno b'bal tochal. Now there's another, the same isur activates of not eating it raw, semi-raw. But when it's during the daytime, for example, when you don't have to eat roasted Pesach meat, then there's no isur of having it semi-raw. So therefore, that's teaching you that they go hand in hand. Someone took the security, a pair of scissors for a barber, or the cow yoke, right? So all these things have two pieces, right? There's two separate assembly consists of two pieces. Scissors have two blades, and the yoke also has two pieces. Chayav shtaim, you have two sets of lashes for it, because they're considered separate. He took one part of the scissor, one blade scissor, and one piece of the yoke. We have one. Another verse says, took the barber scissors, the similar or the yoke of the cows. You might think you only have one. The Torah told us that you shouldn't take the lower or the upper millstone. Just like over there, that they're technically two separate items that are assembled into one functioning, it's a millstone. But how about you're chayav on each part separately? I've quoted him therefore any item, to any other items that have one function made of two separate pieces, you're chayav on each separate piece, like the scissors and the yoke. Ahugarav was a guy, the Havasakina, the Ashkar, who took a slaughtering knife from his friend as a security. That's something that has to do with Panasa. I told him, Zila, go give it back to the borrower. Because it's an item that's used for food preparation, it's part of his parnasa, and therefore give it back and then try to recover money. Meaning, you have to prove the money that is owed to you. Right, so you have to prove that there's that in the first place. You don't need to prove that he owe money because he can claim the value of the knife. What does that mean? He says, I have the knife, kind of like amigo. I have this knife. This knife is worth $1,000. If I would have wanted, I could have kept it. And therefore, the fact that I'm giving back to you, I'm acknowledging the fact that I took it illegally as a security. I should be able to at least recoup $1,000 of the debt with no questions asked. Because if I wanted to say, I could have said I bought it from you, or it's mine. And like Mark says, Babaye, let la house how come doesn't hold that? Easy to actually this is no different in the case of the gates of goats who ate some barley in someone's field and in the Hadra'ah. So nobody knows how much barley the goat ate. But the owner of the barley came in and said, hey, I'm taking your goats. And he said, your goats ate $700 worth of barley. They came for Father Shmuel who said, technically, if the guy wants, he could have charged him as much as the goats were, because he could have said, these are my goats. And therefore, because he has in his back pocket, because he has the power to keep these goats, which were $1,500, then believe him on this $750. Gemara says, so how come it's different? How come Abaye wouldn't hold by the knife? Gemara says, no, hatam lav midi de avde alosh lo. In the case of the goats, that's something that's likely to be rented or borrowed, and therefore he wouldn't necessarily believe that he borrowed it. Then therefore you wouldn't be necessarily believe that he bought it. So you have to prove he bought it. Therefore, there's no migu. Hacha, by the case of the knife, it's considered an item that is rented out or rented, and therefore the Ravuna always said that if someone's holding an item from someone else that is likely to be rented or lent out, yani it's something that's regularly lent out or rented. He says they're mine, I bought them. In the money, not believe. There's a higher chance that you borrowed it. Prove that you bought it. So therefore, there's no more migu. Now, but Rabbi left that so how come Rabbi doesn't agree with that? But why would he say that the knife is a good enough reason? You claim the $1,000 knife as the debt. That proof. But Rabbi pick Zuga the Sabla, Rabbi himself took away the tailor's scissors. Mesifrat Agata in the book of Agarata Miatne from orphans, and he gave it to the guy who owned them. But because they're items that are lent out or rented. So how come over here in the case of the knife he didn't believe them? And he said he could keep it. Why is the knife different than other rented items that you have to prove that you bought it? And over here, he said you don't have to prove it. Our answer is very interesting. It says, "Hi Nami, this knife also, Kevin de mipagma, it can easily become ruined. All right, a slaughtering knife, if it gets a nick, if it gets any scratch on the blade, pasul. Therefore, people don't lend it out. And because it's not lendable, people don't rent it out or lend it out. Therefore, if he would have claimed that he bought it, he has to prove it. So therefore, he cannot claim the value of the knife as part of the debt without proving it.